They have a management that is not compromising with standard.
Yes. I can use my school as an example. They don't compromise with standard. Wonderful. Just recently, we concluded our trial exams
For the worst.
for the worst. For you to be a school candidate. You understand? And there was strict measures that were put in place. Even the way we organize our examination. You don't take any chance of examination malpractice. And the issue of examination malpractice in this country is alarming because I have clear evidence. I have clear evidence about it. And sometimes this culture of examination malpractice is triggered and nurtured by teachers themselves. You have to be realistic. You can only know it if you're part of the worst examiners who are market.
Okay.
Because I cannot imagine how can a particular school, you see, for example, civic education, more than 30 students, 40 students have selecting the same question, answering the same, and if you look at their answers word for word. Sometimes even if you're smiling, you should be smart. But we have some students that will be smiling. They will smile until they smile the name of the person that they are smiling. So that's the problem.
Yeah.
So now if you're a teacher, you are, feeding your students answers. You are not feeding only one student. It means you are feeding the whole class. And all of them, they will write the same thing. That's why some schools are found wanting of examination malpractice. And it is disheartening. And that culture is alarming, and you need to put stop to it. And as teachers also, we need to give teaching. That's why it's important to have passion for something. If you see a teacher who has passion for what he or she is doing, if the person happens to go to class, you will see the passion of that person. The person will be teaching and will be giving all out. And another problem is, for example, I can study political science. I'm not very good in mathematics because that's the main reason why I venture into political science because calculation is my problem.
So wait,
Now,
let's pause it there.
Yeah, it's very important. I know calculation is very important.
All right.
Sometimes also, you need to be realistic. I've tried my level best. Because I was a commerce student. I did economics, I did accounting.
That's why I was coming. If I didn't economics at college,
Yes.
you must be good.
My level best.
Right.
But I know it's not my way.
Okay.
But the purpose of mathematics is to make you to think critically.
Yeah.
And I'm able to think critically when it comes to studying decisions.
Yeah,
You understand?
not to shy away, we still why bring about education there? Because simply talking about a country, we're not able to write a letter from a system of education that was supposed to say the child, because you do letter writing and comprehension, so therefore that child must come out from that class able to do letter writing and comprehension. But it's unfortunate that such kind of culture will be as a representative of the people, and a single letter that you cannot write.
Then how can you write a project for your people? Because you're gonna go to the council and say, give me $100,000.
Yeah.
You're gonna go to the chairman and give, because everything is documented.
Yeah.
You understand? So you need projects. Blades, BDCs. You work with BDCs. You have people that are very.
But how many villages? If you're listening, let's ask your question. Your village, do you have any VDC? Let me tell you, if you don't have a VDC, it is a requirement for every village to have a VDC that's responsible for the development of that village. But the point is, we don't have many villages with VDC, or if they do have, it's very ineffective.
Why? Because even at village level, sometimes when it comes, Gambians, we like positions so much. Some people, they will opt for the position and do not, they will not be able to be effective and efficient. The only thing they will want is people to be saying that, yes, he is leading, she is leading. But what are the results? And that mentality, that attitude, we should eradicate it from Gambians. Why should you go for a position when you know that you're going to deliver? The money sometimes, the opportunity. No, sometimes some of these positions are very.
Yeah, but there's opportunity.
Yes. Okay, that one also.
Money is there.
Opportunities.
Let me be there. Let's say, for example, you have VDC. There are some assets for the village. Of course, money is coming. I'm the chairman.
Yeah, that's
Money is coming to my pocket.
true.
So therefore, what happens? I'm there. If you do, I can do anything. Why?
That is why whenever I'm teaching my students, because I love civic.
Yes.
It's a subject that is introduced to enlighten and inform Gambians to be better citizens.
Yeah.
I believe if we truly learn, understand, and implement all the things that we are learning in civic education, we will have a better society. Because we have a lot of topics that has to do with things that we need to inculcate in Gambians and non-Gambians residing in this country. It's a very interesting, very important. Whenever I'm teaching my students, I don't shy away from telling them to learn skills. Because if you look at the trajectory of this country, you understand that we need skill work a lot. People need to have skills. Because all of us can work in offices. Just imagine how many students that were trained at the Gambia College that are sitting at home without employment.
Yeah, it happens, and I know some of you watching this. I know many have finished there. So let's talk about now. They are.
If you were attending Gambia College, while you were learning skill, either electrical installation, plumbing, solar installation, and the rest. While you are sitting at home with your diploma, you'll be able to do this skill work. You help yourself financially, you help the family. But now, you are with your diploma, no formal employment, no skill. You are still studying there. Your family, I know now, Gambia College is not free. Your parents were struggling to pay for your school fees. Now you finish, they're expecting you to start changing the status quo of the family, and you are still depending on them.
Thank you very much, Abdoulie. If you're watching, this is a breaking chain. And indeed, we are here to destroy the chain that is bound to our minds that we cannot think and do things for ourselves to be an independent people. Of course, with me is Abdoulie Jallow, a civic teacher, a government teacher, and Nasir Senior Secondary School. So now we move into the national settings here because 2025 is gone. Almost today is on the 28th of
Election
December 2025. Of course, 2026, you know what's happening. Election December. And everybody's talking about it. Now, he's not only a civic teacher, he's a politician too.
Anyway, I will just.
Now, let's analyze this country because 60 years old now, and even a middle will import. And then 60 years now, still now we are struggling for a leadership. 60 years now, we're still struggling for a good education. 60 years, I'm saying 60 years. We're still struggling to have the proper health facility. 60 good years. We're still struggling to say our villages and districts and towns and divisions, or if you like regions, are still struggling to be structured well, and we might be an organized society to do for ourselves what any other developed country is doing for themselves. And of course, is it that we cannot do it? Is it that we don't have the mind?
No, we have it. Seriously, Mr. Jaha, to be honest, Gambia do not lack human resources. Though sometimes we can say we lack, finance and certain things. But even when it comes to the financial aspect, we do not lack it. We do not lack the financial aspect because we have a lot of support from the outside, which we need to, have a change of mindset because we cannot just be reliant on people. Self-reliance is a very good national value that we should inculcate in every citizen in this country. Because you cannot just keep on relying on people. Till when? Till when? So if an individual is advised not to rely on people to get what he or she wants, then why not the nation? As a political science student, sometimes I do follow a lot of analysis in relation to the way and manner in which this country is governed. Though my curiosity, because I normally fight. You know, especially when I was at the university, I had a lot. Many people know me because of writing Abdullah Nelson.
Nelson,
You
yeah.
understand?
No, I forgot to give him the title. Pardon me for not putting the title. It's Abdoulie Nelson Jallow.
Most of my, colleagues at the university, still not doing
Nelson Jallow.
Nelson Jallow, that's it. So I told them not to
I think I saved your number as Nelson Jallow.
You see, so I used to follow a lot of writings on Facebook, because Facebook, I'm so obsessed with Facebook because of certain things that are happening. So if you look at this country, it's small by size, but very big when it comes to intellectuals. But honesty, consistency, it's our problem in this country. When I say honesty, just imagine, we know we are civil servants. We know the pay scale. Not so. You see somebody working in the government. And when I say government, I don't only focus on the central government. I focus on all the three organs in the government: the legislature, the judiciary, and the executive, and other presidency. You see somebody working in an institution, living a life that do not tally with his or her earnings. And you know the person is not into other businesses. Where is the person getting the money? That's why I say we lack honesty in this country. Because if you are honest, you will do a job that you are assigned to do without taking something that belongs to the public. And that's a disease in this country. And some people are very proud of this. But one thing they should know is either you are accounted here in this dunya, or you are accounted in the hereafter. Something that belongs to the public, it's meant for the public.
Do you want to say that it is not that the country does not have the resources? The country have the human resources. The country have the natural resources. The country have the finance. But the management of these
is the problem. Management. And so that, because how many amount of money that we are here in this country? Millions.
Billions.
What can even, try to tell us the system that is? We have an independent institution called the office. The independent. It's an independent office. The audit office. Not so. The auditor general.
According to the papers.
Yes.
It is independent.
Yes.
But it is really.
No, I can say it's independent in as much as they are doing their job, but sometimes the people that are planted by some people in the system who are benefiting from the system are the one trying to corrupt some of them, but not all of them.
That's
because we have individuals, or we can just say, for example, one person, the former auditor general, you can have differences with him, but you cannot tell his office was not doing the job.
No.
We know many issues, many loopholes, many mismanagement through his office. And sometimes you have to understand that also. This is what there is what we call check and balances. You can have separation of powers, but there is check and balances. Sometimes they cannot just do a particular job and you expect them to release for the documents, just like that. You have to pass through certain institutions. The audit office might finish their job, pass it to the National Assembly, and there also, if the National Assembly is not truly independent, you will not know
Much of the facts.
And sometimes you have some people in an institution that are very honest. So, but the system corrupts them. And some people, the system will not corrupt them, but they will not have the opportunity to do certain things because they are not in a position to do certain. The only thing they can do is to tell us whistleblowers. And you know, in this country, we don't have any law that is protecting whistleblowers. You do it sometimes. You see certain revelations that are coming out, and you see the institution will say that they are investigating and see the person who decided to reveal.
Now let's imagine like this. We have an independent body that is trying to investigate the financial dealings of a system. And now there are strategic institution that the institution of audit wants to go in and do their financial activities and investigate what they are. But you are saying, no, not now. Not now. You can't do that now. Wait till later. He said, no, I don't have time for that. I have to do it now.
Then it shows that you have a lot of mismanagements
There.
happening in this country.
And worst part, you cannot take a state institution and hire an international firm to come and make the audit. How does that make any sense? Doesn't make any sense. So this is a lesson that we must understand that there can be an institution established for a certain job, but because of the setting of the system, that institution will not function as it's supposed to function, no matter who is there. And in fact, if you are a person in that institution trying to do exactly what the law requires, you are taken out.
Yes. That's why self-reliance is important. If you rely on yourself to do certain things for yourself, you cannot be corrupted by the system. But if you depend solely and mainly on the system to feed you, then obviously you cannot fight against the system. That is why some people, when they are under the system, they will complain about the system.
Sure.
But immediately they are into the system,
The part of it.
they cannot do anything. Why? Because they are relying on the system.
Absolutely.
So it's just like you are venturing into politics to benefit financially, not to benefit the people.
You benefit from the national cake that belongs to
Or do you want to benefit yourself? Now, if you want to benefit yourself, if that is the main reason why you are venturing into politics, my friend, if you are inside the system, you cannot fight corruption because you are benefiting from corruption.
So you meet your mind and defend this. You miss your mouth and defend the system.
That is why we need a national value called honesty.
I just want to confirm something. That what Abdoulie is saying is this: when you're part of the system, you are now going to be an agent in defense of the system because you are now participating in everything that the system is doing. And that's why you will see those people who have been against the system or opposing the system, when they now join the system, they are now the real fighters and defenders of the very system they have been fighting against.
Because we have clear examples. We have people.
We don't want to mention names. You know them well.
No, because I can vividly remember one of my former lecturers. I won't mention him.
No, we are not giving anybody cheap popularity. Okay?
You understand?
Yeah.
In our introduction to politics, he was saying the president, who is President Alvaro, lacked the intellectual pedigree to govern this country.
And now,
He's serving as what? One of the ministers.
whatever. And now he's defending whatever the president does.
And he has been fact-checked several times. And I was dumbfounded, flabbergasted, when I had one of him speak, trying to caricature one of his former students who has different political view with him. That was so low for him.
Thank you very much, Abdoulie. We'll take you to our next break. This is Breaking the Chains. I'm Sharif Jahan, and of course, with Abdoulie Jallow. Breaking the Chains is a channel that is going to create the platform for which the system will be exposed and the black history will be taught. You, the one listening to me, watching this video, must be awakened. That is why I will recommend you to buy this book. This book is written by Chancellor Williams and is entitled The Destruction of the Black Civilization. Black people must begin to dig deep and understand who they are. If we understand what life and death is, we will be free entirely. I call this platform Breaking the Chains because our minds have been shackled by chains of lack of thinking, chain of inferiority. But that chain, if it is broken, we are free and free forever. Welcome back from that break. And of course, now we take it to Abdoulie to take us general, because 26 is here. And now, what do you think this country must do so that we cannot have a repeated system of leadership that will perpetuate for us the same things that has been here since 1965?
Okay, if you look at this country, many people are crying for good leadership.
You think it's leadership?
I say many people are crying for good leadership, and you cannot, remove leadership from the mess that we have gone through. And when I say leadership, it's not only about the president and his people.
That was there.
It trickles down from top to down.
Okay.
And what I mean by top to down, it's from the national level down to our local levels.
Okay.
For example, sometimes you'll be given position at the village level, you are not able to do proper job. You feel reluctant to give out the position. And we have to understand also the government. When I say the government here, I'm just referring or specifically talking about the executive. They cannot do everything. Though they can do almost everything. But in reality, they cannot do everything. You understand?
No, I will come. Let's stop there. Because you say only executive. Executive.
Yes.
The branch of government responsible for the executing of the projects, the policies, and everything the government.
Yes. Now, what I mean by this, let me try.
So therefore, they must be in a position to install people, personnel, who will do the job or get out.
That's because you have to understand also the executive cannot install all leaders. Now, for example, when I was strolling around, we have our mini park, the mini stadium. And I vividly remember there is a portion on the fence that fell down long time now. Do you expect the executive to come and fix that for us?
But personnel who are representing the
Now, not really fast, because if you look at it, the people that are tasked with the responsibility of looking at sport in Canada or lower south is not the executive that installed them. It is us, the people on the ground, that decided to put them there. It's leadership. So now we are saying, how many finals, how many tournaments are taking place here? Where to get tickets that are taken away from people when they are at home? You don't expect the National Assembly member to come and fix that for you. You don't expect the councillor. You don't expect the chairman. We have people, an executive that's running.
Who put them there?
It's the people.
Big people.
The local people. Us, despite the fact that I did not participate directly, but I know some people participated. So there's a leadership.
You think that should be? When we have a National Football Federation that's responsible for all football, and the National Football Federation is under the Ministry of Sport.
Yes,
and the Ministry of Sport is part of the executive.
Yes.
And now you're having a sport system that is happening, the stadium will fall down now. Who?
No, that's what I'm saying. There are certain things you don't need to wait people on top to do it for you. These are basic things. When it comes to pavilion,
who should do that? Who should do that?
It's the people that are tasked with the responsibility of managing.
If they don't do it, what will happen? What should happen?
It's not accountable.
By who?
By the people. How put them there? Now, it's either if there is election.
Is there an election?
I have no idea. Unless I find out.
That's a problem.
You understand? So,
and I believe there shouldn't be, in fact, what I believe 100% is there shouldn't be any sport activities in this country or any point where the Ministry of Sport is not involved, the National Sport Federation is not involved, the Regional Sport Federation is not involved, District Sport Federation, or how much should they call it. These are all levels of them. Each of them has to be communicated from what must be done on the ground. Because if you want to develop sports and or football in this country, it must not just be left like anybody can do anything as you wish.
Yes, no, I understand that point. But here we are talking about what we do. Sometimes development is multidimensional.
Okay.
You understand? Everybody has a stake on it. Despite the fact that the government who is representing, we expect them to look after the welfare of the people. And this government, they are elected. That's why in government you say government comes and goes while the state remains. You understand? But as genuine citizens, we should always play our part wherever we find ourselves, whether directly or indirectly. So when it comes to the greater part, which is the executive, led by the president who is elected by the people, there I will tell the Gambians that everybody, every Gambian is equal in sovereignty. What I mean by that is each and every one of us has one vote. That is if you reach the voting age. The president has one vote, astronaut have one vote, have one vote. Then all of us, we are equal when it comes to sovereignty. And our votes matters. That is why no politician will force you to vote for him or her. That is only if you are a great thinker. That is why we need a lot of enlightenment. But tell Gambians that power belongs to them.
So it's not in the interest of the system to do that.
Yes. Now,
the system is
not
trying
in
to
the interest of the state.
The system is trying to do everything
It's not in the interest
to put everybody ignorant so that they can manipulate everybody and get me, who's ignorant, enticed with a certain benefit and get voted.
Yes.
Voted
Now if the system is interested, because obviously if people are benefiting from a system that pay people,
it's not the people who are
on that change to be okay.
All right.
But people like you and I, who doesn't depend on the system, who wants to see a change of system, you play our part. That is why whenever I'm teaching civic, I always tell my students that power belongs to them. I cannot direct or force anybody to support any political party, but I will enlighten them to be informed citizens. Whenever you are making this, you should know that you are equal in sovereignty, and whenever you have the opportunity to elect the right person, not based on ethnicity, religion, or any political affiliation.
We are running out of time, and I want you to tell us what are the qualities of a leadership you will wish the listener or the viewers to, when they are voting, they must look.
Yes, we can differ in opinion.
Your opinion?
Yes. My opinion is, sometimes people say leaders are born, made, others are saying leaders are made and born. But, sometimes.
What do you say?
Yes, track record.
What do you say?
Anyway.
Are leaders born or okay?
Yes.
Your view, where do you see?
Leaders are made.
All right.
Yes, leaders are made because it has to do with track record.
All right.
And when it comes to leadership, it is not only the individual that is leading, it's beyond that. But if we have a leader who thinks out of the box, we will be able to bring people with the intellectual pedigree to govern this country.
Okay.
That can only happen if we have a selfless leader, somebody who is not selfish, somebody who is passionate for development, somebody who is honest and God-fearing, somebody who has the courage to tell X and Y that what you did you're supposed not to do. If needs be, you should be fired from the position. Not someone who will be recycling people. I cannot be a president. I appoint you as a minister of trade. You are not able to do the job properly. And I will shift you from the Ministry of Trade to Ministry of Health. From Ministry of Health to an ambassador. Why? Because of what? These ministerial positions are political appointments. But if you have a leader who will be able to identify people that will do the job as expected. Because sometimes they say, there are still people who sack them, you lose popularity, you lose election. My friend, if you're a leader, you do the job as expected. If you construct proper roads, if you have a very good education system that has quality, if you have a health sector that is properly equipped, not only structures, good doctors, nurses, well paid, teachers are well paid, drugs, everything intact. My friend, even if you don't go and campaign, people will vote for you if you campaign for yourself. Why? Because they will have things that they will see, tangible things, concrete things, not only politicians that will be enticing people. Today, for example, if I have all these things I mentioned in Kaur, if the president happens to make sure all these things I mentioned are put in place in Kaur, which opposition will come to Kaur and say the president did not, provide good health sector, health facilities for you. The president did not, give the enabling environment to have good teachers, civil servants and all that. President will say that. Opposition politician will say that. No one, because everything is there for people to see.
Everything is there for people to see, and of course, that is what we have time for. And finally, I'm like, your message.
All right, thank you very much. It was a pleasure having you and being interviewed by your mentor. It's something that gladdens someone's heart. And I'm truly grateful being interviewed by you. And I hope to see a lot of things. I pray that this channel,
Breaking the chains.
I love the chains and we that. Just like the way slavery was broken off. And I believe the way you are taking it, it's never easy to start something.
Sure.
Never be discouraged. Most of these popular journalists or medias that you are seeing, they started from somewhere. Some people started with 1 view, 2 views, 10, through 1 month, 30 views. And today they are breaking barriers. I know your capability, I know what you can do. No one will tell you your capability because I know it. And we are lucky to have you as a DD for God. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Abdoulie. Thank you very much. That was Abdoulie Jallow. Of course, this is what we've been doing. We will meet minds and do everything you can do to break the system. Break the chains by yourself. It starts from you. To make sure you decolonize your mind and make sure you are a responsible citizen to do what is needful for the development of society. Thank you very much. Breaking the Chains is a channel that is going to create the platform for which the system will be exposed and the black history will be taught. You, the one listening to me, watching this video, must be awakened. That is why I will recommend you to buy this book. This book is written by Chancellor Williams and is entitled The Destruction of the Black Civilization. Black people must begin to dig deep and understand who they are. If we understand what life and death is, we will be free entirely. I call this platform Breaking the Chains because our minds have been shackled by chains of lack of thinking, chain of inferiority. But that chain, if it is broken,